Feel Good Breakfast Show is live right now. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Wednesday morning. Now, we're talking about what we spoke about before the break, a major shock for us meat eaters. In the past week, the World Health Organization, they released a report on processed meats, saying that bacon, sausages, it's almost in the same category as something like asbestos and smoking.
It is absolutely crazy, but joining us in the studio, excuse me, in the morning to talk about this alarming report and whether or not we should all be converting to vegetarianism, we have registered dietitian and private chef Kelly Schreuder with us. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Ewan.
Now, these are some really alarming findings. You know, we spoke about it yesterday as well. We've got a lot of vegetarians feeling rather smug about themselves as well, but let's start with the basics. What exactly are we talking about when we say processed meats?
Right, so processed meat is anything from ham to bacon to sausages. It's anything that's been cured and processed so that you can actually store it longer. So it's different to fresh meat. So it's different to a steak or, you know, chicken or anything that you would have to cook to eat. You can actually eat these processed meats as they are.
The study says that most processed meats increases our risk by 44%. I mean, quickly, why is processed meat so bad for you?
Okay, so what we're really looking at is the curing compounds. And the curing compounds, the preservatives and the colorants, especially things like nitrite preservatives, those are the things that cause carcinogenic products to be released in our guts. And that's why there's this big, strong link to bowel cancer. So if you're eating very processed meat with lots of those products in there, you're getting that risk magnified.
Anything pink like that, right?
That's the stuff, not the tomatoes. The tomatoes are okay.
The tomatoes
And
are
the
right.
garlic.
I like that. Yeah, garlic's in fact very healthy for you. Try that. Now, there's an issue with the red meat. Of course, a lot of people have been making, you know, a lot of talks about the fact that we should steer clear from red meat in general. But it's also been revealed that as little as 2 slices of bacon can increase the risk of bowel cancer by 18%. Now, this leads me to ask the question: should we stop eating red meats and other meats altogether, or do we just revert back to the old saying of everything in kind of moderation?
That is my favorite saying. You know me well.
I know.
No, what we need to look at is really the risk versus the benefit of eating these meats. So in my mind and in my practice, I've been advising people to avoid too much processed meat for a while. So the studies have been emerging for a while that processed meat is not really that great for us. So now that we have confirmation, it is true that we shouldn't be eating too much processed meat. And I'd recommend that you eat maybe a small portion of processed meat, no more than once or twice a week.
Okay.
Red meat, there is maybe possibly a link to cancer as well, and that's why everybody's worried, because they say, well, should we completely avoid red meat? And the concern there is that if you completely avoid it, you might be missing out on some of the benefit of the red meat as well. So red meat is a great source of iron and protein and B vitamins, and including it in moderation in your diet is a good idea. So like the Association for Dietetics and the South African Food-Based Dietary Guidelines recommend that you eat a moderate amount of meat, so that's 90 grams. That's probably a small palm-sized amount of meat, maybe once a day. And that includes things like chicken, it includes fish. You know, you want to eat oily fish twice a week. You want to eat other sources of protein, eggs and beans. So it's not just about being so worried about red meat that you can never eat it. But if you're only eating red meat, then your risks might be higher for developing cancer, and you're missing out on other protein sources as well.
I'm thinking of all that biltong that I eat every day. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, we're taking this conversation online as well. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, that's where you find us. And we're asking the question, do you plan on cutting down on processed meats? Will you remain a carnivore? Are you dying to eat some meat out there? Well, let us know on our Facebook page, or you can use us on Twitter with that hashtag Expresso Show.
Absolutely. Would love to hear your opinion on this whole debate on should we or should we not turn all vegetarian, all of us.